Welcome on in, everybody. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you for being here on another night at Northwoods TCG. Once again, greatly appreciate everybody coming on in. Hopefully, you guys have had a fantastic week, and of course, a lot of the country right now being a little chilly. So, right now, we're going to be talking about the market, what's going to be happening here in the next few months, and these are predictions again, going into 2026. What we're going to be seeing at this point in time. Just double check, make sure my sound is on. Looks like it's working good. Welcome on in, Blitzkrieg. Thank you so much for being here as well. Shots. Okay, got that out of our systems. Let's move. Let's move on. Yeah, the biggest thing I want to talk about when it comes down to the Pokemon TCG right now is the market itself. What are we going to see? We got Ascended Heroes coming up here this week, so we're going to have Ascended Heroes released here. And what does that mean for us right now with the current market? And the facts is that scalpers are crying right now, and they have been for a little bit of time. People have all moved to OP. Scalpers are getting a taste of not being able to move product as easy, and there's a lot of them kind of crashing out and getting upset about it. There's tons of videos on YouTube right now with that scenario and the situations that are currently going on with that. I mean, I could sit here and list a ton of them, but I think if you just go and put Pokemon Scalper crash out right now on YouTube, you are literally going to get a full, probably 200 videos to watch if you want to do that. So I'm not going to go and specifically pull out names or individuals when it comes down to that. I'm just going to sit here and say it's happening. And my biggest worry is right now it's causing a subtle market shift, and we're seeing some really good numbers still in the market. The market's been holding very well. Overall, the system is working pretty good at continuing to move things forward and keep things going. The market is stabilized. It's really made that little drop, but it's kind of come down and kind of sat and is sitting in a good place. In my opinion, if you are in a Pokemon business and have access to distribution, there's some good opportunities right now that people can take advantage of. And these are all things that are currently there right now. But my biggest worry is that we're going to see this market explode again. And the number one reason is Ascending Heroes. Ascending Heroes having such a low production rate for not just the first products that come out, so not just the tech stickers, but then on top of it, seeing the going through and seeing the next wave of ETBs being as low. And now I just got my allocations for booster bundles, and that's dismal as well. So basically, we're zero. I got no booster bundles, just to be clear on that. So once again, it's very abysmal right now for what we're actually going to be getting in this set. And it's kind of disheartening in a way to think that we still are not getting products with the drop in the market. The question is why is Pokemon still not printing anything? And with the drop in the market, we are seeing people shifting out. I'm seeing less people that focus on like sports now shifting to One Piece. And that's also affecting the One Piece market now. So the one thing that I could get pretty regularly from the Universal distribution is now drying up as well. So I'm not really getting that opportunity either. So One Piece is drying up as well at distribution, and they're limiting the amount of product that they're going out. They're getting ahead of it better as Universal, because there's only, I believe, 2 distributions that you can get One Piece through. One is Universal, and the other one I believe is like DZ or something like that. It starts with a D. But those are the only 2 that you can really get One Piece in the United States. And that's kind of where we're stuck is that, once again, you only got 2 distributors for One Piece, while Pokemon had several distributors. Universal I picked because I had One Piece and still had Pokemon, so it gave me another potential avenue. Granted, just going into there and getting into it about 6 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago now, I really didn't get a lot of OP14. I got some pre-ordered. They allowed me in on some of that, and then the market shifted. So basically, I'm probably not going to be getting any more OP14 at this point in time. I'm trying. We're working on it. We might still see some. It just depends on how that all plays out when it's all said and done. But when we're looking at Pokemon's the exact same situation right now, too. I can't get product through Universal. I can't get really a lot of product through ACD. I've talked to my rep at ACD now the last couple days, and they still don't have any product available to send. So this week is probably going to be the first week that I'm not getting anything but the 2 Ascended Heroes. I'm not going to be able to get any Destiny's Rivals, no Phantasmal Flames, no Check Lane blisters, no 3-pack blisters, nothing except for the tech stickers and the 3-packs of Ascended Heroes. That's pretty much all I'm going to be getting this week. And the following week doesn't look any better. So nothing's really changing, and they are running out of product again to the point where nothing's going to be good. So that's why I think this market is going to absolutely explode. And the reason being is Ascending Heroes is going to be another catalyst. The fact that we have low production rates, it's got some cards that people are definitely going to be chasing in that set with that Mega Gengar inside of it. That Charizard Y Gold is definitely going to be on people's lists, especially if they are collecting the gold cards. These are all factors of products that we are potentially looking at getting and wanting, and it's not going to be there, and that's going to really cause a big drive on the pricing of that. There's going to be fighting probably at your local Walmarts and Targets for this product, just because of the fact that everybody's going to want it, and it's definitely something that people are going to shoot for when they go to go and do these things. So once again, I just want to sit down and remind people that if you are in the flipping market or the scalper market, this is going to be a good time again potentially with the next set. But if we are in the investment camp, which is where I primarily am at right now when I'm talking on these nights, or in the market camp, it's going to cause a powder keg on that market. It's going to create the market to explode again. It's going to cause the market to go all over the place. My worry is that OP14, from what I've been watching, has not been performing as good as a lot of people expected. The cards are dropping in value rather quickly. Not that that's normal on release. I'm not saying it's any different for One Piece than it is for Pokemon. We talk about that in Pokemon all the time too, where we continually are seeing the release pricing continue to drop and drop and drop. But the overall, talking to people I know play OP and the people that collect OP, it's really not driving as hard as they would have thought. So thus, my worry is, or my thought is, that we could potentially see people moving back from OP back in the Pokemon, especially if we're talking $15, $20 booster packs right out the gate of Ascended Heroes. So we can really see some things shifting again in the upward direction. And if one of these sets takes off again, chances are is that even if we don't think that it's going to be Ascended Heroes, or there's, that OP isn't failing, people will still drive back to Pokemon because it's a tried and true. People are really, really comfortable with the performance of it. And that's going to be a real driving factor for the overall performance in the market when we're talking about where you want to invest, or where scalpers are going to go and where things are happening. Now, for investment, not good, right? If we're talking about investment, I know some people tell you buy anytime it's going to be great. I don't agree with that. I've never agreed with that. You know me as an investment channel. I've been really, really lax on the investment side of things, just because of the fact that there isn't a lot of good opportunities right now to be going out and buying parts. The market is still really, really high. There's a lot of risk involved if you were to invest in this side, and to me, a lot of times right now the risk is too high for the current market situations that we're in. So we got to let things cool, let things come down. The markets will shift. Eventually Pokemon will print stuff. I'm hoping with them getting 1 million square feet of printing facility, that they're not just going to use that for sports cards, that they're actually going to be using that for Pokemon. Hopefully that would be the hopes, or they're going to move their sports cards to that facility and use the current facility for printing Pokemon. I don't know what their plan is. They really haven't said anything. They just pretty much have put out there as a statement that they have gone through and actually gone and purchased or rented the space for 1 million square feet. But there's going to be time to get that up and running as well. So we're going to be in a little bit of a limbo here regardless, with potentially no Pokemon product coming. Once again, just the Ascended Heroes, which is bare minimum, and we're not even getting anything that's really worth writing home to your mom about, because there just isn't that much coming out. And I don't know if it's going to go through the big box or sellers, so Target, Walmart, Best Buy, these locations, GameStop, are they getting a large portion of it? I don't know. I don't know exactly where all of these current locations are, or where the allocations are going from Pokemon itself. I do know where the allocations are coming from individual distributors, but that's a big question that we really don't have the answers to right now. And Ascended Heroes will be interesting to see how much Walmart gets. And the other problem is too, and this is where I've talked about this before, is that it eventually is going to come to this. And I don't like this scenario, but I've already heard LGS owners saying that they're going to go buy Ascended Heroes from the store. Why? Why not? You got someone like Mason who gets 63 ETBs for 2 locations. That's 30 booster boxes. That's not even enough to pay, barely enough to pay his employees' wages for a month. Stores are now getting gripped with the fact that they can't get OP now too, so they're getting their numbers are being cut on One Piece. Their numbers are being cut down on Pokemon. They can't get allocations for Pokemon. We have them also not finding other TCGs that are getting very, very difficult to find. Lorcana now is very hard to actually order in any amount of product at this point in time. and other ones too that they've been saying that they just can't get a lot of their TCGs now. So what's the scenario for a business owner if you know you can go to Walmart and buy, you know, let's just say you go buy Ascended Heroes right now from Walmart for roughly $5 a pack. You know you can pay $5 a pack. You're going to pay $14.99 for that 3-pack, and you're going to pay, I think it's the same price for the 2-pack tech stickers. So basically, you're going to get both, and you need something to fill your shelves, and you can make 3 times on that. You know you're going to make 3 times on that. What's the chances are that some of these business owners are going to start doing that at some point and taking it from the actual store shelves like Walmart and Target to fill their backlog and try and make some profit, right? Because that's going to be the name of the game. And then pretty much you're going to create a situation where if the big distributors and the big box stores continue to get more product, but the little guys continue to get starved out, it's definitely not going to be a good scenario and a good situation that is going to be turned to. And I've heard other business owners talking about it, and that rumbling is happening more and more on the backside of it. And I think that it's only a matter of time before that actually occurs. Trust me, I've brought it up several times on here. The thought process is there that you could go buy Destin's Rivals during peak or Phantasmal Flames when it's first released, or within the first few weeks of it released for $3.26 right now at Walmart, and be able to go sell it for $9, $10, $12 on release and make some really big money right up front. So that opportunity is there, and you could still make a buck or two a pack, which is basically what we sell them for when we used to get mass quantity. Usually the typical is that a store makes 75 cents to $1 per pack. Just depends on what their feelings were. But I mean, just like we did here on Northwoods TCG, we used to sell packs at $4 a pack, $3.99 a pack, and we used to get $1 a pack. That's what I made on them, and I'm going to be 100% honest. That was the profit. I was way below MSRP, but you were getting a fairly good deal on those too, which kept the volume discount. I could make $1 a pack and sell 5,000 packs and make a lot of money. You know, $5,000 right there in a weekend. So there was a huge amount of opportunity when you're selling below MSRP to really drive that through. And you could be competitive against stores and all that because of it as well. But the fact is that we aren't getting product through distribution. Stores, LGSs, online stores, none of them are getting their allocations high enough from actual distribution. And the fact is that that's going to create a point where it's going to break. I know that there's talks already from several places of them breaking. It's just a matter of time. And I don't want to see it get to that point. I really don't want to see this hobby to the point where LGS owners are running a Walmart and a couple of them are going and cleaning out all the shelves, literally driving across town and selling them back on their LGS. That's literally the definition of scalping to the highest degree. But when you're in business and you need to make money, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. I won't be doing it myself. But I would shut down before I would get to that point. Just be 100% honest. I would just shut down the rip and ship. I would shut down the store. I'd mothball everything and just go back to doing videos on YouTube. I mean, that's pretty much where I would go with the whole situation, personally. But if I'm a brick and mortar and I don't have a choice, what are your options? Let me know in the comments or in the chats. What are your options if you cannot get product from distribution and the market continues to flare like it does? And Ascended Heroes is another one. I think that we're going to see a big market flare again with the lack of products, and people and scalpers see $15, $20 packs. It's like sitting there and chumming the waters for sharks, guys. It literally is the epitome of that. If you're putting $15, $20 packs out there right on release, that's chumming the waters to bring the scalpers right back into this market. And I don't want to see it again. It's getting to be where it was starting to cool. I mean, it's still, prices were high because of the lack of product, but the actual store or the actual products were actually staying consistently lower, and the scalpers were down, so you could get product a little bit easier, and people were getting products at their Walmarts, and products were staying for a few days. But if we're going to go to that point, it's definitely going to be a situation. And I like the one here. I'm going to read the one comment. Scalpers got to pay rent. Yeah, and that's just it. But I'd rather them not pay rent because they're not a legitimate business. That's the fact is that they shift with whatever's hot at that point in time. So one piece is hot, and I literally so the day One Piece released, the day after, so on Saturday, I went to the grocery store with my wife, and we were in the home goods area, and I found so many OP packs, and I was an ass. I put them all back on the shelf for the guy. So someone had gone through and was randomly hiding One Piece OP 14 packs all over the Walmart. in different locations. I found them all over in House Goods and stuff like that. And that sucks. And for a scalper, I get it. But if you're sitting there and you have distribution, if you have a distribution and you've had long time distribution, now me, if I'm getting cut by my allocations, I'm okay with that. I'm a little bit more understanding of it because I didn't get distribution until, well, 2 years ago now, compared to someone like Mason or some of the other, like the LGSs around here that have been in business since 2019, 2018, and their allocations are almost the same as mine. That's absolutely insane. And it's crazy that we're looking at that in this market. But that's also catalyst. We're looking at all the catalysts that we're going to have here. And the second that you drop on the ground $20 packs of Pokemon again, the scalpers, you're chumming the waters. You're going to bring them right back in. And this is definitely going to be a big issue that we're going to continue to see, I think, for the near future. And I don't know if Pokemon truly wants this. I don't understand why. Because they're going to start driving people out of there. They're going to lose their LGSs. They're going to start losing some of the other businesses that carry Pokemon. And when we sit there and look at what we are looking for product and what they're looking for to even maintain, it's starting to fall below those levels for a lot of these individuals. So what do you do? If you're brick and mortar, what are your options? What are you going to do? What are your thought processes? Mason, if you jump in here, maybe you could throw in some insight to what you're doing. I'm kind of curious. I'd like to get Mason on live and sit down and have a talk with him. But Mason is, I'd really like to know, after a year of the positions that we've been in for purchasing products and getting things going and making in the current market, how do you make money in a store, even selling at MSRP at this point in time? It's not just Pokemon that's got printing issues, several other ones. And the fact is that that's just not seemed to be correcting. And so that's why my prediction is that we're going to see a market flare again. Second that Senate Heroes hits this weekend, if it goes over $12, $13 a pack because of the scarcity of that particular set and the fact that it's got a chase. I mean, we know we have the Gengar in there. Let me pull it open here real quick. Let me see. Ascended. Let me just pull open I'm going to pull open the Ascended Heroes cards list just to make sure that I get all the right ones. We do know the Gengar's in there for sure. That's going to be one of the bigger chases. There's that cool Mimikyu card. That's an illustration rare, but I definitely want that one for my collection. I don't know. The Team Rocket's Mimikyu is pretty sick. I like that one. To me, that's a really good card that's going to do well. And we go down through here. Dancy's not going to be so big of a chat. Electros, Hyalucha's not. Mega Gengar's definitely going to be one. I like the Frostlass. You got that Pikachu. You got two Pikachus in this one. You got the SIR, and you got the illustration rare, both of which are going to be very, very sought after. Lily's Clefairy, I like this Lily's Clefairy better than the first one. So personally, I think that this one might end up being more of a chase than we realize. And then the other one is going to be Team Rocket's Mewtwo as well. Is going to be holding some pretty good value and be really chased after right off the gate. So then you got Gengar, and then you got Marty's Grimmsnarl. I really like that card. The more and more I see that artwork, it's really, really, whenever I see it, it really pops, and I really do like it. So I think that that's going to be another one as well. And Zoroark is there, but I don't think it's going to be as chased after, maybe for newer collectors or newer people in the Pokemon TCG. But a lot of the millennials and the older people in the Pokemon TCG are probably not going to go after Zoroark. N's too new of a character at this point. The artwork is okay, but it's probably not going to be as big of a chase like we've seen in Journey Together. Just really is there. It does okay, but it's really not going to be a big driving force in that particular set. But yeah, I mean, there's some really good arts. Plus, you get that gold Charizard Wise in here as well, and the Mega Dragonite. So the Mega Dragonite, kind of forget about that one. I'm on the fence about Mega Dragonite. 100% openness on that. I really am on the fence when it comes down to Mega Dragonite. It's okay. I think the design is kind of dumb. They could have done a better design, a little bit more thought process into it. But I think that there's enough Dragonite fans that people might drive into it and might do well anyways. Gold Dragonite's definitely going to underperform compared to the Mega Charizard Y gold card. So, yeah, but you got a set that's got some really good chases in it, potentially inside of it, that people are going to want. People are going to want these for collections. There are some collections like Lily's Clefairy, definitely going to be a collection piece. Team Rocket's Mewtwo again. Get Mega Gengar. Of course, people are big Gengar fans are definitely going to be adding that into their collections. And when you get these collection sets that people are going to be looking for particular cards in, it's definitely going to be one of them things that are going to really drive the value of this set up more and more. And then the next set, of course, I don't know if anybody saw it too, we are getting an SIR Meowth in that one as well. So we do have some announcements coming from the newer set for Perfect Order coming as well. Let me pull that open. Perfect Order. So we're getting some releases on that. Let me see if I can pull open Poke Beach. Poke Beach, I think, finally pulled up some of the lineup on this one. So we are getting confirmed in Meowth. Tyrant's going to be in the promo in that one. So we are getting some slight announcements on that as well. So some of the releases are coming from Perfect Order. Just so if you guys are looking for that information, Poke Beach is a great place to be able to get that information and actually take a look at it. And I'm trying to find, there was an article, I read it today, that actually had had the Meowth in it. It had a couple other ones as well that are going to be doing very, very well. TRJ, when he first commented, is an abomination. I could get behind that. It definitely lackluster when it comes down to an actual Omega. I think that they could have really gone. I mean, I understand where some of the concept comes from on it. If you look at it, I mean, the balls on the tail makes sense. That's going back to Dragonite. The ball on the forehead, okay, I'm getting it. Yeah, I see what you're doing. But it doesn't mean that it's that good. I mean, that's the problem is that why does it have two sets of wings? Why does it have to have wings coming out of its head now? What is going on? Why didn't you just make its wings into the feather wings? Fine, would get it. Put the feathers on the tail, get rid of the ball on the tail, make the ball on its forehead, and turn it blue. Let's just go blue. Why not? Why not just go back to the Dragonair and be done with it? So anyways, that's kind of my thought processes right now, guys. If we don't see something change in the production levels here, we're going to walk right back into another boom. We're going to walk right back into a powder keg when it comes down to the performance here and what we're going to be seeing. And I think that there's going to take some time for that facility to even come online. And if they're going to jump into Pokemon, is that what their primary focus is going to be on, is Pokemon? That's my real question. Because they've really given us not anything out there. Purple, gotta go. Sounds good. We'll talk to you later, Purple. Thank you so much for joining in. We get to the just for anybody who is new here, we usually sit here and I do a rant for the first 20-25 minutes here on the live that kind of starts a discussion chain. And then when we get the discussion chain after that, we start going through and discussing the comments and the questions and the things that are going on here. So rest in peace, Prismatic MSRP gang. Everyone knows you were never going to find that in the stores. No. I never think Prismatic's going to be found in the stores. I think that anybody that thought that Prismatic was going to go to MSRP, I've made it clear, I don't ever believe that. It's definitely not going, I didn't think it would ever happen because, number one, the investors are never going to let that happen. They're going to bot things, they're going to buy things up, they're going to hold the line on that, and if it dropped under $100, they were going to buy it up. There's too many people heavily invested into that have money. They have no problem buying it up. It's not going to hit sub 100. So no, I never ever thought that it was going to be an MSRP product. It was always going to be around 100. I thought you might be able to grab some at 90 at some points, but it was going to be slim and few and far in between. As we've seen historically on Prismatic Evolutions, every single time they print it, the ETB comes close to $100. If it drops under 100, all of them are bought up immediately. So there are some heavy players that will not and do not want that box dropping below $100. And they will continue to spend money at this point. It's their investment, and they're going to continue to spend money to do it. So, all right, everybody, let's go into the chat. Like I said, that's my synopsis for right now is that we are going to walk into another powder keg just because of the fact that we are so short on product. And Ascended Heroes coming with such a stupid release schedule is going to create a bigger drought in the market. Going to make a bigger drought in the amount of product that's going to be available. And by doing so is going to basically chum the waters for the scalpers to start coming back from OP. And OP definitely is doing okay, but it's definitely not performing as well as some people were hoping from what I've been told. I'm not an OP expert. Let me know if you are an OP expert. Is OP14 performing as well as they were expecting? A lot of people were expecting, especially in the scalping market, we're expecting really big numbers. And from what I've seen, some things have gone up fairly well, and other things have just not really performed, such as sleeve blisters, packs. Even some of the cards are down quite a ways. But there again, new release, hard to tell. We got to look back in 6 months and see how that all pans out. But anyways, going back to the chat, Blitzkrieg, thank you so much for being in here. iFOMO, welcome on in, bud. Hopefully you're doing well. Purple is in here as well, or just left. Thank you. Jose, glad to have you in here. Thank you so much. Pika, welcome on in early. Nice to see you in the chat, bud. We got Burr in here as well. Welcome on in. Just going through the chat here. Horizon in here as always. Thank you so much for joining us. And Tony, King of the Ozone. Welcome on in, guys. Greatly appreciate it for everybody that's coming in. We're going to go ahead, go right to the top, start coming on down. We already did the shots deal at the beginning, so Blitzkrieg making fun of Roy. Roy's going to be happy with that Meowth that's in the perfect order. Yes, I think he will be. Being a Meowth fan, definitely. There's going to be an SIR. And the other thing is, too, is that opens up SIRs that is new besides Pikachu. I mean, Pikachu and Eevee are the only two that have ever gotten an SIR, and that's now a third one that's breaking out with an actual SIR that is just a basic Pokemon, unevolved, the unevolved version of that Pokemon. So that's one of them things. We could be seeing something there when it comes down to possibly newer SIRs in the future. Maybe they're going to bring in some of the pre-evolutions to some of the Pokemon. So yeah, I mean, it could open a door. Seeing the Meowth in an SIR is really, really cool, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see if that's opening to a new gate or if it's just something that's going to be a one-off out of the way. I mean, Eevee and Pikachu make sense to me. They're always going to do VMAX as a Pikachu. They're going to do Gigantamaxes, you know, whichever versions you're looking for out there, they're always going to create those of Pikachu and Eevee just because they're kind of the mascots of the Pokemon TCG. But seeing an outside and outcast from that group and in an SIR form is really, really cool. Blitzkrieg, can I name some people? Yeah, you can name some people, Blitzkrieg. Put them in the chat. Do it. Put them in the chat, and I'll read them off if you want to name some scalpers that are crashing out. Let's do it. Hi, FOMO. Thank you so much for the popcorn and then the rockets. Greatly appreciated. Hey, 5, FOMO, where have you been? I'll take 3 packs all day. Purple says, hi. Purple, I hope there will be enough Pokemon cards to go around because I want to be able to get some of the cards from Ascended Heroes since I'm going to collect all the cards and render and the Psyduck is going to be pricey. Yeah, I think that there's going to be some really good cards in there. I don't know how much product. The problem is that we just are not getting allocations for it. It's not just me being a small online shop and a streamer. You know, I always figured that I would be the first to get cut, but to hear people like Mason and Danny Phantom and all that saying their allocations are cut so low is definitely disheartening for the print rate, especially with a break. I was thinking maybe that Pokemon got a couple months break between the release of Phantasmal Flames going into Ascended Heroes. They're going to get a little bit of breather room and that they might get those printers going and we would see some decent allocations. But that's not a truth. It seems like that's not occurring. Are we going to see allocations differently on the other one too? I mean, are we going to see it on perfect order? I don't know. Once again, I'm seeing certain people putting out that they got allocations for perfect order and they're bad. I don't know where they're getting that information because we don't have allocations for perfect order yet. We won't get it until the beginning. I believe that releases in March, and we won't get any numbers for that until March. So beginning of March, end of February at best. So right now, we don't know any allocations for that particular set. Ascended Heroes we're getting allocations from just because of the fact that it's getting rolled out here, and we're getting kind of futuristic allocations on that. And I was told, I don't even know if allocations have actually been put on for the 6-pack booster bundles. My rep just told me yesterday that I wasn't getting it. I wasn't in consideration for the 6-pack bundles again. I haven't gotten 6-pack bundles since Surging Sparks. So Surging Sparks was the last one that I actually even got 6-pack bundles. So I'm not surprised I wasn't in consideration for it. What Mason and other people get if they ordered them is going to be the real question when it comes down to that. Hey, Jacob, how you doing? Welcome on in. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now with Ascended Heroes. I'm hoping there'll be more product. I'm hoping we'll see several other reprints of it, but maybe they're just going to print it all year round like they are with Prismatic as well. It's going to be a year-round print. They're going to print a ton of it, and that's what we're going to see from now on is one specialty to that set, driven through the whole year, printed continuously throughout that year. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just hoping to see more with the long break, and it just isn't panning out. It's in the near future, obviously. Already got that one. Already did Jose's Blitzkrieg. I'm going to be selling blisters in a trench coat in an alley near a high school. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah, we're getting to that point, which is really, really sad. It really is. It's really sad that we're at this point right now in the hobby, and it's not just you can't blame scalpers and you can't blame that kind of stuff as much as you can blame the Pokemon TCG right now. Perfect chance to get caught up if we had product. If Pokemon were to print, we would have plenty of makeup at this point in time to really get ahead of the scalpers and kind of bring this market down to a more normalized market, which would keep the scalpers out. But now, like I said, once again, Ascended Heroes, we're going to go ahead and chum the waters again. We're going to put $15, $20 packs out there because I know that they're going to do that. These packs are going to go for $15, $20 because 2-pack and 3-pack blisters, you got to open a lot of those 2-pack, 3-pack blisters in order to get packs. And that's going to, once again, create that issue overall with what we're going to continue to see. So yeah, Blitzkrieg, you might want to just go buy a good trench coat. Just line little screws inside of it just so you can hold up your cards. And then, hey, kid, and you know what you want? Make sure you're wearing clothes, though, Blitzkrieg. It's not good if you're not wearing clothes. Just remember that. Keep that in mind. Especially in high school. Don't do that. Bad news. Purple says, I know the owner of the LGS. He won't do all of that. He actually got to the point and just didn't put any Pokemon cards on the shelves. They got money off of their board games and stuff. Yeah, and some of them will do that. But some of them will definitely shift and go another direction. I can tell you that right now. We've seen it online already. We've seen videos of even back in 151 individuals doing that, where Sam's Club was getting massive reprints of the Zapdos and the Alakazam boxes, and a guy went and cleaned it out and took it back to his LGS and sold them for double the price. And there's nothing you can do about it. And that's definitely something that could occur more as this happens. I know a lot of people won't do it because of the publicity too. They don't want to be caught being in that position. But, there again, it's something that could happen. And there's been talks from other owners I know of is just like, if we can't get product through, but if the big box store is getting all this product and we can't even get a case of something, or we can't get more than 2 cases of something, then why don't we just go take it from the stores? Because we can still make good money on that. We're still making our profit margins by doing that. So it's definitely in consideration, and it's a move on the board that we're gonna have to see where this goes for the next year to really see what's gonna happen. Pika Pika, I already said, hey, how's it going, Pika Pika? Burr says, I just go for the Pokemon Center drops, then sell them later. LOL. Though there's a good business, good plan right there. Awesome. Purple says, I will never sell the Pokemon card product. Well, some people will never do that. Some people are forever collectors. So, I mean, it's okay. I mean, some people will do that. Pika Pika mostly have sealed items. Purple says, like, I've gotten a prismatic ETB when they were worth like $200 to $250, and I ripped it even though I knew it wasn't going to get anything out of it because I wasn't selling it. Horizon says, I sold my Pokemon cards already and have invested in AMC, GME, and MetaZoo. There we go, and lost it all. You're all upside down. You made the call. You took the shot. Can't discredit you for taking the shot. Purple. I loved both Enzoarks. Horizon. Ouch, Horizon. TLRJ, we already talked about that. How Mega Dragonite is an abomination. I don't like Dragonite in general, just Dragonair. Horizon. I filed a lawsuit, but they told me MetaZoo is bankrupt and GME and AMC lawyers are burying me, whatever that means. They've already buried you. They're just patting down the ground around you. I gotta go. Rest in peace. Yeah, we talked about that one already. We already touched that one. ETBs are a waste. Smartest move was to buy into the Lucario T-Tar boxes. Yeah, them have been doing very, very good for the prismatic side of things, for sure. Let's see. I was trying to kick over and make sure I'm catching everything on here. I met some of my Pokemon ETBs ASAP. Jacob said that. King Tony of the Ozone. I just completed the PSA 10 evolution set. Time to sleep and wake up in 5 to 7 years to retire. Pretty much. That's definitely a way to do it, especially if they're in 10s. You're going to do very, very well with them, I think, futuristically. Would have been really cool, though, Tony King of the Ozone, which would be really good challenge, is getting them in a sequential order. Could you imagine having all, 9 of the evolutions from Prismatic Evolutions graded into 10 in sequential order? Do like Eevee, Jolteon, Vaporeon, or no, it'd be Vaporeon. Gotta make sure I do it right. It's going to be, Vaporeon, Flareon, Jolteon. Then you're gonna have, basically, you're gonna have Espeon or Sylveon. Then you're gonna have to go and just keep working your way down through all of them. That would be pretty sweet. That would be a fun one. If you could pull it off, it would be pretty tough. I would say that. Heart from iFOMO. I've been waiting for PSA's backlog to end. I'm bored. LOL. Yeah, that's getting to be quite the backlog, except for if you go through GameStop. Sounds like people are getting cards in about 50 days, 45 to 50 days in GameStop right now. Just so you guys are aware, going through PSA's website has very little usage at this point in time, especially if you're doing small groupings of like 10, 20, 30 cards. Definitely getting better performance through GameStop at this point in time. So it's definitely something you may want to consider if you're looking at that. If you're still doing the grading game. Let's see. It's working down here. I lost it. Bounce, so I'm okay. Here we go. So here's iFOMO's melting. Jacob said, hey, how's it going? iFOMO, it wouldn't be a bad idea to short print a desirable set. Yeah, if you want to create more craziness. It would suck for the market, but yeah, I mean, if you want to create hype and FOMO going into the 30th anniversary, 100% a great plan right there if you want to do that, for sure. Create a big hype and FOMO and bring everybody back from One Piece to Pokemon by making a short print of one set. Especially with Mega Gengar and stuff inside. Definitely going to be there. Release is such a disappointment. Weigh the packs at the store. There we go. Just pull out my little scale and set it down there. I don't even know where my scale is. I know where it's in my bag for traveling. I know where it's at. I lied. I got my little scale. Honestly, that's how much I weigh packs. I only take it when I go to Collecticons or go to card sales where they're selling packs in that, because I always want to verify the packs. So especially if someone's saying that it's a heavy pack, I'm gonna weigh it to see if it's a heavy pack, because I've seen so many people buy heavy packs. They get home and weigh them and they're not heavy packs. They were just labeled as that and they paid premium for a heavy, and it was just a regular or a light pack. And once again, if you're in the market, it's sad that we can't just trust people any longer. I would love to just say, hey, you can trust somebody to do that. We're not in that hobby anymore. This hobby is you got to question everything and make sure you take your time and double check everything before you do anything in the market. So, for example, like that, if I go to a vendor, they're selling heavy packs, they tell me it's a heavy pack, I'm going to weigh it before I walk away. If they're claiming it's heavy, they should have no problem with me weighing it. And I actually went to a guy and I walked away from it because I was looking at a jungle heavy Flareon pack, and I was like, cool, I want a heavy pack if I'm going to get one. Bought a heavy pack, or I was talking to him and I said, okay. And I pulled out my scale. I put my scale out and I made sure it was calibrated. And I said, all right, I'm going to weigh the pack too. And he got mad. He's like, no, I won't let you weigh this pack here. I'm like, why wouldn't you let me weigh a pack? Explain to me why, if you're telling me it's a heavy pack, meaning you've already weighed it, why can't I weigh that pack here? Oh, no, you got to buy it before you can weigh it. If you weigh it, I won't let you weigh it here. It's like, whatever. So I didn't buy it. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here. If you had the guts to sit there and weigh it and list it as a heavy pack, then why can't the person who's buying it weigh it at the counter? I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think? If you're selling something as a heavy pack, you've supposedly scaled it, you should have no problem going and actually having it and letting another person weigh that pack. Personally, if I was selling and it was a heavy pack, I wouldn't have a problem with someone weighing it and verifying that it's a heavy pack. It's just a trust thing anymore. It's just where we're at. Going through. So yeah, Tony the King of Ozone, like I said, he has the PSA 10 evolution set. That's pretty sick. When it comes down to it, I would love to have that. That'd be really cool to have. I just really don't have the income I want to put into something like PSA grading right now, or like graded cards or anything like that. Jacob says I might sell my Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes ASAP. Why would you do that? What's your reasoning, Jacob, behind wanting to sell them out? Because they're the one product that has had very little volatility except for the Stellar Crown one. And even at this point, I think the Stellar Crown one has even recovered off of its redrop on Pokemon Center, its short little redrop. I'm going to pull it open real quick and see. But I'm just kind of curious to know what your thought process is on that and why you would want to sell out on your Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, because that's the one product that I really have no desire in selling at all, is my Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. So yeah, they're 113 now. Let's see, where are they at? So if I go back, so they dropped and they came down to about 100, and now they're back up to about 113. So even the Stellar Crown ones have recovered since they've been released at re-release. So, oh, the Ascended Hero one. Okay. Still, I wouldn't do it. Even the pack pricing being so high, that all these Elite Trainer boxes from Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are holding such a premium, and they do nothing but go up. Stellar Crown's the only exception, just because it got a re-release on Pokemon Center. Just more product showed up and it dropped the price of it, but even that one has recovered and come back up as well. Not as heavy, but it's definitely starting to move in that upward direction. But every other one has had nothing but an upward trajectory. So if you're looking at an investment side of things, Jacob, it's definitely something that I would not be selling. Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are not even on the table for me selling right now at this point in time. And like I said, that's just, for me, I look at investment items. What are items that are going to continually perform well and have continued to perform well? And that's one of them that I would put on there for sure, that it's not worth selling out of those. It's better keeping out of those. I just want prismatic yellow. Well, that would be a way. If you wanted to sell one of those and get a prismatic one, then that'd be okay too. Yeah, I've got a few prismatic ones, thank goodness. Going back up here, back to Blitzkrieg. Well, things are going back up. I'd wait for the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box unless you need the money. Yep, that's what I was saying. Going down, Pika Pika Blitzkrieg. But iFomo says, I like the Mega Gengar. It will age like, yeah, I think so too. I think it'll do really, really well. I think it'll do really good futuristically, and it's going to be a really good card. We can go back at other Mega Gengars too, and they perform really well, not being, that kind of pull rate, just being full arts and stuff from even the XY era, do really, really well. They're really strong cards. Gengar cards in general do really, really good as well. Northwoods, that's God tier play long term. Yeah, you would really have to play trying to get a sequential order of those cards in the energy order. I would be so picky. That's just how I am, that I would literally submit them in the order of their energy to be sure that they come back like sequential. Eevee being the first one of the number, and then going from Vaporeon, Flareon, Jolteon, right up through the energies. So it would be in order by energy. So if there's an energy sequence in your binders, so if you follow the energy sequence, you would know what I'm talking about, where you can do, it's what? Water, or actually I think it would be Flareon first. So it would be, now why am I drawing a brain fart on it? But it should be grass, fire, water, electric, psychic, dark, ground, normal, and then special. So you could actually sit there and get them all lined up. It'd be pretty cool. All right. God tier planning right here. That's God tier planning and investing right there. Because I'm going to break about 1,000 of them things to try and get it. Horizon, do you know what day the Charizard UPCs are dropping on Costco in stores? What about the Prismatic SPC at Sam's? I have not seen a date for in-store. Costco just did the online release today. I actually posted that up on the Discord, that it was actually when it released, so that way you guys knew. But I don't know when it's going to be in store. I have not seen any information on the in-store. Let me see here real quick if I can go on to Twitter, X, whatever it is. UPC. All right, let's do a quick here. January. So I'm just looking online right now. currently in-store availability around the 20th to the 24th with significant warehouse deliveries happening. So I'm guessing this weekend, probably Friday. More than likely, I think Costco does Fridays, if I remember right. So if you're looking for new releases such as this, they will roll them onto the floor on a Friday, if I remember right. Let me see. Prismatic. Once again, this is just speculation on when they're getting delivery, so I don't know for sure. I don't find anything on Twitter is like, yes, this day it's happening. Oh, I really do not like how mega gender. You on an iPhone? You're on an iPhone, aren't you? February. So Sam's Club looks like February 2026 is going to be released in Sam's Club. So this way, guys, are kind of got an idea. Because they did the online order, I'm guessing this Thursday or Friday they're going to have the release at Costco. So either Thursday or Friday is the release day. Thursday, I believe, is, if I remember right, Thursday is Sam's Club. Costco, I believe, is Friday, but it could be Thursday or Friday. So I'm guessing since we got the release of the them online today, that the in-store will probably be Thursday, more than likely. Would be my guess. Thursday, Friday this week. Would make sense. That's about the time frame that they do it. Let's see. Going through here. Things. Tony says things that happen with scams is the reason to get authenticity guaranteed and send to PSA before I get it. I'm not responsible. Sad times. It is, and that's a big problem. That's like me scaling packs. I really shouldn't. That isn't something I worried about in 2019, and I never got scammed. Seeing bigger shops or decent sized shops with that definitely wasn't something that I was having an issue with, but definitely I wouldn't go anymore without doing that. I mean, I wouldn't weigh packs. I mean, even a guy, remember PokeVault did a video where he's bought some weight or bought a heavy pack and he opened it or went to go get it. It was actually light. They sent him a heavy pack, and it was someone that he like had several discussions with or was new or something like that, and he still scammed him for a light pack. So it's, what do you do? I mean, even people are willing to scam their friends at this point in time in Pokemon to make a buck, and that's a situation that's never good for the overall hobby and never going to go away at this point in time. Personally, I don't think this hobby, unless it completely gets destroyed, we're not going to see the hobby retract and go bound to the point where I think the trust is going to be back in it, which is sad. You never had a trust issue back then. I mean, kids were kids. I wouldn't count them, but between adults and stuff like that, you really weren't worried about those things in the past. If someone weighed it and said it was a heavy pack, you knew it was a heavy pack. Let's see here. Going down the list here. Talking about the Fat Thumb. We got the Horizon said Redbeard is giving all the info for bots, inventories, and stores, etc. It's nice to see someone being transparent about how and why us regular people can't stand no chance at getting the product. Yeah. But he's also selling a service, so he's selling you a service while he's telling you that he's basically using bots to rip off the stores. It is what it is. I mean, that fact of the matter is it's just whatever. You know, I get it. If he can do it, whatever. I'm not into the bots thing either. I'll just continue to do what I'm doing. These people get all worked up about it. His video is very, very weird, though. I will say that his video, that one video was very, very odd. I don't think that should have been put out there, especially some of the things he said about Kyra. It was kind of really weird. But, hey, some people do some weird things, and he got a ton of attention for it. Once again, the one thing about commentating Pokemon that really drives me crazy is the fact that people will do something intentionally to get attention, and all of them jump into it. Shiny Vert, Opossum Bud, Kyra, all of them will just dive into it. Like, oh, time to attack. Get into it. And he wins. Once again, you're giving him the win. So how many views did he get on his video talking about that with all the links to his Discord and all the links where he made more, probably subscriptions, because you couldn't let it go. Because you couldn't go, I'm not going to address it. I'm not going to get involved with it. I've said that time and time again. You know, if you want to stop someone from being successful, you need to stop giving them views on YouTube. If you are going to all do videos where all of your people are going to see this video and go and watch that video because you pulled clips out of it, you're just giving him publicity, and you're giving that individual power. Not just him, but any of them. The other one I always laughed at, and I kind of made fun of Opossum for it, was Pokemon. Remember that one? He's doing all this stuff talking about how inappropriate it is, and her channel literally went from like 100 to 200 people all the way up to like 4,000 people because he did that. And it's like, but you're gonna, why bring it up? If she's trying to organically grow, YouTube is going to suppress that content because people are going to flag it. And if people flag it, it's going to suppress the content, and she's not going to get the views. But the second you say something in the commentating side, you blow up their channel, and then the YouTube algorithm or the blockers don't work. It's like, stop talking about them. Leave them be. Just let them be. Let them say what they will. They'll go away if you just let them be and not address it. If you don't engage in that content, it'll go away naturally. YouTube will siphon it off. Just like that video. If he were to do that, his people would see it, but it would just kind of dissipate and siphon off. Nobody new would really jump into that. And a lot of people, maybe even that were watching it, go, this guy's absolutely nuts. But then you got all these people in Pokemon commentating looking for that content that they're looking for Poke Drama. So they go after it, and they literally eat it hook, line, and sinker. And then this person blows up, and they get more views, and they get bigger algorithms, and they get more people subscribing, more people joining their Discord, more people paying money for that bot service. My thought is he was low on money for his bot service. It costs money to run bots. I don't think he was making enough for the upgrades that he probably has been doing to his bot server. He needed someone to boost his ratings. Well, why not just poke at every one of the commentators? Because if I do that, boom, they're going to come and run in my door and sit there and start telling me everything that I'm doing wrong, putting all my videos on theirs, and everybody's going to come to me. So, yeah, it's a win-win for them. So he didn't lose anything. He gained. Redbeard definitely made bank on that deal. Fat Thumbs, we're still talking about that. Pokéday box, almost $40. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm not getting a Pokéday box from GameStop. Not a chance. It's a $14.99 box, and they're selling it for $40. And if you buy it online, they're charging you shipping, even if you're a member. So you got to pay for the membership to buy the box. So you got to pay the yearly subscription to their GameStop membership. Then you have to purchase the box at a 2.5 times price at $40. And then you have to pay like $4 or $12 to ship the damn thing. Yeah, no, you can keep it and stick it up your keister, GameStop. I don't care if you sit on the whole back room of them stupid things. Jesus. It's like, at least give someone some KY, man. If you're gonna fuck them that hard and bend them over a table, at least give them some KY. Give them free shipping, for God's sakes. You just 2.5x them on the price. So you screwed them because they had to buy the membership to get access to it, and then you give them the 2x pricing job. You don't even give him the KY, man. Man, you didn't even pull his hair. No hair pull on that one. Just left him dry on the table. Jesus. All right. Moving on from that one. Yeah, I'm at the point only going to one card shop I trust and vending machines. Yeah, card shops are definitely very, very good. Definitely hurting as much as all of us are when it comes down to this. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting market regardless. And trust factor is very, very difficult. And it's definitely not going to change anytime soon. I'm too exhausted by the Poke Tantrum drama. Boy, your autocorrect is just killing you, man. Jacob, your autocorrect is just beating you to death. Yeah, autocorrect needs to sleep. I think it's why he is spilling the beans now. Probably. LOL, autocorrect's gotta go sleep. LOL. Yeah, it's been going. Horizon said, yeah, it's been going this long. It's nice to see it being exposed for views, or not just nice to see it revealed. It is. It's nice to know. I mean, you know it's there. You knew it was there, and it's kind of nice to actually see it be put out there. And when we're sitting there talking about it and seeing the background of it, yeah, I get that. And he's putting it out there. He's trying to draw new users, and I'm sure either A, he's to the point where he needs to upgrade his database, or B, he's upgraded it and he needs to get some more viewers in there, because all of a sudden he started making some very, very interesting content that would be poking at people, and it worked. I mean, he got what he wanted out of it, and I'm sure he got a bunch more subscribers because of it as well, going, hey, I want this product, why don't I join a bot service to do it? So monthly fees, whatever, to get information, join the bot service, get the information, all that stuff. Let's see here. Blitzkrieg says, I'm here for the Poke drama. I'm here for the information. I think he's lonely. Blitzkrieg is lonely. He's all by himself. That's why I was shocked when TJR helped him out. I'm not. TJR will, no offense to Team Rocket Joy, he's been on here. I think he's a good person. I think that he's very much driven on views, and he's very much driven on drama. So TJR or TRJ is definitely going to jump in on that. It was a guarantee that he was going to get involved with them, because that is drama, and that's what he does. That's what Team Rocket Joey does, and it's just how he is. So him being involved with it, absolutely not surprising to me. Not in the least. Let's see here. Weird or not, Redbeard probably going to be a millionaire, if not already. He probably is already. Be 100% honest. I would not be surprised. If he's got the system set up and he's using botting, he's definitely, and he's selling memberships to get into his services. I mean, hell, he's making bank head over. He's making more money than most LGSs and online stores right now at this point in time. Blitzkrieg, about to start some drama with TJR for Smoke getting my YouTube channel up for shits and giggles. There you go. You're gonna go right after him, Blitzkrieg. Just go like a rabid dog. Just tack his ankles and get after him. Savage. Horizon, I've realized there is very little morality in this hobby. Northwoods is the exception. Well, thank you so much for that, Horizon. I try to keep things normal. I'm an honest person. I try and keep it that way. So thank you so much for that, Horizon. Tony King of the Ozone. Then GameStop will have the audacity to call it a luxury experience. Oh yeah, for sure. That's just how they go. Lame. Botting is too easy. Why make it that easy for yourself? How boring. 151 is going crazy. Yes, 151 is really moving up in value right now. We talked about that though as we were coming up. 151 was a targeted item. If you should have been targeting 151 going into the end of the year around December. We talked about that, and right now I do still think that there's opportunities in 151. So let's just go back, and while we're talking about investment stuff, let's go to 151. Take a look at where we are currently on some of the products in it, because it has really been accelerating the last few days or last few weeks. Singles haven't really done much, but if we go actually into the box, so if I can pull any of these individual products, so Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box. So this is just the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer, or this is the Pokemon 151 Elite Trainer Box. This is not the Pokemon Center one. So that is this one. So this one right back here, which is just your standard one. My Pokemon Center one is back there. This one right here, right today, is now worth about $400. So it has been going. So since beginning of December, when we were talking about that we were going to be out of print and we were moving on to Mega, that you should be considering this, it has gone from $350 all the way up to $400 here in a month and a half. It is going to continue to do that. And I don't see any stopping for 151 now that we're past the two-year mark of it. I actually like that camera following me. I don't know what you guys think about that. This new camera's kind of nice because it kind of moves with me. So when I'm grabbing stuff and everything, you guys can see what I'm grabbing without me having to like wing around all weird directions. So yes, $400 right now for the 151, and that's as of 1/20 of 2026, just to give a correct date since I'm giving numbers and information out here. Pokemon Center one is almost $850. It's $840 currently. The Ultra Premium collection is an interesting one. So this little guy right here, which at one point, honestly, you couldn't give the thing away. They were like $60, $70, $80 for these things. Once again, like the Charizard UPC, couldn't get rid of it. And now all of a sudden everybody wants it. So, and it's now over $600. Zapdos Alakazam boxes, another one. They've been reprinted so many times. $71, $65. Tins, all of them are crossing the $30 threshold. Single individual packs, $15.50 right now per pack. Binder collections, $140. The booster bundle, so the 151 booster bundle is, and that's behind there, is $110 currently for that as well. The pricing has just gone nothing but up. And there's no reason for it to stop at this point in time. In all reality, there's really no reason for that to do that. Andy, how much 151 do you have? I got quite a bit. I don't have as many of these, so I have only like 2 binder collections. Right? So I got 2 binder collections. That's all I got for that. I've got like 4 cases. 4 cases of the Alakazam. I got 4 cases of the Zapdos. I've got 10 cases of the ETBs. And then I have a case of the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. So that's pretty much my putting into it. Plus a bunch of single cards and things like that as well. That's what I said. The Mew UPCs were like $80, $85. They were everywhere and they wouldn't go away. So, but no, that's why I was saying, even in December, even now, honestly, with what we're seeing with 151, if I grab any of these products right now, I would stay away from like the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes and the Ultra Premium collections, just because they're going to get to a saturation point. They're going to slow down. But the Elite Trainer boxes, for example, currently being $400, if you had the money and you were to buy a case, you're going to do well. If you buy one, you're going to do well. Over the next few months, because it's nice and steady. It's a steady growth chart. It's not crazy up and down. It's not like a straight up like we saw back in the beginning of this year, where it went from like $100 to $300, $350, maxed out at about $400. But right now we're back to the all-time high. It was $400, so the all-time high was the all-time sale right now was $408. So we're at $408. Was the all-time sale. We're at $4.99 or $3.99 right now for the current most recent sale. So that means we're going to be right on the all-time high again of Pokemon 151. Is it a bad time? No, I think it'll do well. I think it's going to continue to go up. I think it's going to be like the people are always, one of the judgment calls I made a long time ago was the Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes, because they kept getting reprints back when they came out. And I said they're going to do extremely well. Doesn't matter what they do. They can reprint them. They'll come down. Like my video just talked about. If you haven't watched my video, go watch my video from yesterday. I talk about this, the difference between scalping and investing. I'm buying things when the pricing is going down. When the price is low and nobody wants it, I want to buy that, because those are the products that futuristically will do well. Because number one, they're probably not going to get very many reprints. Number two, they actually have a low supply rate. And number three, people forget about them, and when they see them in the future, they want them. And those are things that always do really well, and they're really, really good products to get. I've talked about that several times. In this current market, I am barely buying anything as investment. Everything I'm buying right now from distribution and from any place is to go and sell. I'm literally just running a Pokemon business at this point in time, but I am still 100% investing in things and continuing to invest in things. Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes were a perfect example. I talked about them when they were $43. Nobody wanted them. They went down to $38. Nobody was like, Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes aren't going to do that well, because they keep getting reprints. I bought 4 cases of each. Well, 4 cases. I guess there's half and half. So 4 cases of them. And basically, inside of those, since they've been released in 2021, today they are now from $38 a piece when I bought them, because they were trying to get rid of them. They are now $380 a piece. What standard investment, because somebody didn't want this product when it was there, because everybody was into celebrations and everybody was in the Fusion Strike and everybody was ramping up because Brilliant Stars was going to be the best set out of Scarlet or Sword and Shield. All of these things were happening and people were ignoring like the ETBs and the other parts of the hobby. And this is where as an investor, you really are looking at the things that people don't want a lot of times. You're looking at the things that people think are garbage or aren't necessarily going to do well. And yes, some of it is garbage. I wasn't going to buy an ETB of Sword and Shield for that price, right? A Sword and Shield base set ETBs, yes, they have done well. And yes, they've come up, but they're nowhere near competitive as something like an Evolutions ETB. And that's a fact when we sit there and look at these pricing and what you're looking at in the markets. And that's the difference between a scalper. A scalper will be looking at it going, I don't want it because the price is going down and I can't flip this in a week. An investor's looking at it's going down. It's a good product. I'm going to buy it because it's the cheapest that I'm going to get it at. So why not get into it now? And we'll ride it out for a long term. Like I said, I still got 4 cases of those ETBs sitting there, and I've had them for 4 years, 5 years, 5 years now. So they've been sitting there for almost 5 years. That's the difference between it. And scalpers, investors aren't really investing right now. I'm not investing into anything right now. I really haven't in the last year, just because the markets just are not favorable for your investment. Now, in 2023 and 2024, yeah, I invested a ton. I bought a lot of Scarlet and Violet, Pele Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift. If you were on my channel, I was telling you, these are probably going to be the better sets of the first year of the Pokemon, or of Scarlet and Violet. Obsidian Flames, Pele Evolved. I said those 2 sets, I'd buy the crap out of them. Anytime they go down under $100, I'm buying the booster boxes because they are such a good set. It doesn't make sense to walk away from them. And that's what you need to be looking at, the difference between investing and scalping. If you're going to scalp, you're short term, you're just looking for hot items. You're looking for that new release. You're looking for that product that's right here, right now. If you're an investor, you're looking for products that are going to do well futuristically and probably dropping right now at this point in time. So let's see here. We're going to go back in here, go caught up on this. Glad I got my 1K bundles. Yeah, that's a deal if you got 1,000 of those. Wild. Nostalgic mixed with new modern art. He blows it up and just walks away. Andy, how much 151 do you have? I talked about that one. Remember? Yep, we talked about that one when they were so cheap. LOL, I was on my break for Pokemon. I don't know what 151 was. I didn't know 151 was the thing. Oh, no, Blitzkrieg. You missed out, man. That's what happens when you take a break from Pokemon. Don't do that. Nah, there's always the next thing. Prismatic is the new one, right? Sealed is absolutely the way. By far, it's the least volatile, and it's the least likely to be affected long term. The problem is with singles and graded is that there can always be more. As long as there's still sealed product out there, there can always be more of them coming into the market. So even today, with a first edition Shadowless base set Charizard, you cannot say that there will never be another PSA 10. You can never say there will never be another Beckett Black Label, because there are still boxes of that product sealed that have Charizards in them, and they do still come through. There are every so often a new Charizard and a PSA 10 sneaks through. I've been watching, and it seems like it's about 1 to 2 per year. As weird as it sounds, there's still about 1 to 2 per year base set first edition Charizards that show up on the population report for that particular set. So that tells me there's still people either opening them, and we do know they open them at Card Party, they open them at Leonhard events, they open them at all these events all the time. And when they do that, they pull it and they grade it, and some of them come back as a 10. So then your 10 population goes up, which means in essence, your 10 grade or price might go down. Your raw price might go down. If it's not gradable as a 10, you're still going to put another raw into the market. Now, it's trickling in a lot slower, but if you do that with a modern set like 151, for example, how many streamers are still ripping those packs on a regular basis? Nostalgianomics just ripped probably about 40 of them, or about 100 of them here on his last stream. I watched. I was sitting there chilling before my stream. It's definitely not going away, and there's going to be a lot more Charizards coming, which will stifle the price at a point, while the sealed product continues to disappear, and it gets to be less and less, especially after 2 years of it being in the market. So yeah, sealed is definitely still the way. I would be 100% on the sealed camp. Yes, never had a better, LOL. Horizon says, but if you choose between the two, Prismatic is the better investment. Yeah. Prismatic, I think, has got enough investor body behind it. It's going to be good for that. Jacob Henderson, welcome on in as well. Let's see. The entry point is the same for Prismatic and the Charizard UPC if you get it at Costco and Sam's. Yeah, it's the same price. You might as well jump in. I would go for the Prismatic because you're going to get a really big I think the Prismatic long term will do better than the Charizard UPC. Prismatic is specific to a set, which I like. Set specifics such as Celebrations, all of them do really well. Even 151 do really, really well. But yes, I think that the like the Charizard sets or Charizard UPCs with its multiple sets inside of it definitely hold them back a little bit sometimes, because some packs are really, really good, other packs aren't as good. You know, all Prismatic packs are the same, and you know if that set does well, it's going to do well. Horizon, the entry point is the same. Oh yeah, I already read that one. Jacob Henderson says, appreciate the videos. I've learned so much over the last 3 years, and I can't thank all the content creators enough. My question is Moltres UPC. I think it will perform like the Greninja box. What's your opinion? I think it might perform a little bit better than the Greninja box. And the biggest reason being is that because it's a Moltres, it's Team Rocket, it's kind of niche with the fact that it has that big R. So this is it right here. So, and I've got the Greninja one right behind it as well. So it's kind of niche just because of the fact it's Moltres. It's got the big R on it, so you feel Team Rocket. It's got a better feel. I like this better than the Greninja box. So if I pull the Greninja box is cool because everybody's going to be like, holy cow, he just keeps pulling UPCs. Yeah, this is my UPC pile, FYI. So we got that one. I've got this one. By the way, I do collect like one of every UPC. So I that's how I am. So here's the Greninja. So now that I'm back to the back of the thing, you know, the Greninja's cool. It does have the star on it and stuff like that. But overall, I definitely like the feel and the look. The displayability factor of this, to me, is 100% better than this. That's just me. I like the Moltres. I like the Firebox. I like the Flame. It's more vibrant. It stands out a lot more, and it really, really is something that's really, really vibrant for your shelf. With the Team Rocket R right in the middle of it. I think that that's really, really a cool factor to it. But when it comes down to it, I think the Moltres box will do better too. The sets are a little bit better in the Moltres box as well. So yeah, that's just my take on it. And once again, I'm looking at that from the fact that I'm looking at it from a collector's aspect, because if you're investing, you should really be looking at what collectors are going to want, because collectors are really going to be the one that drives what you're purchasing and what you should be holding long term. If I'm an investor and I'm looking at this for a long term hold for which one's going to do better, I'm going to go, which one of these two boxes is someone going to want to see on their shelf? Which one is going to be more flashy in 10 years? And 9 times out of 10, I think the answer is going to be this one. So that is just my feelings, and I could be someone's feelings might have a completely different opposite, that Greninja's the newest and hottest Pokemon that's coming up and everybody loves it. So that's why that one's going to do better. That could be the argument the other way. So there could be an argument both ways. Personally, I'd put bank on the Moltres box versus the Greninja box. I bought 12 of the Moltres UPCs because I think that they will be highly sought after in the future, and one sealed case of the game from GameStop. Yay, that's awesome. You got one from GameStop sealed, because I've never been offered sealed product from GameStop. Not in a sealed case. I've never been able to pull that off. At mine, anyways. They're still sealed cases. That's my point. Rip and ship culture seems to have devastated the ability for normal people to get sealed. Yeah, and it's definitely a factor as well. I mean, you're going to have more investment opportunities, I think, in sealed, just because of that factor, iFOMO. Jacob, for sure, I just can't get there on drops, unfortunately. But if I could, I 100% agree. Strippers. You did catch. I figured out anybody in this chat that would hear me missay that, it would be you, Blitzkrieg. So thank you for proving that right. thank you for proving that we should be friends. Horizon. Well then, I agree with you. Also, I thought you had access. My bad. And you are right. In either one is the goodbye. So let's see. I'm going through here, especially boxes or UPCs. Always go up, price pack selection, and stamp promo and master sets. Jacob says I'm stubborn and hate paying market price. Jacob, yeah, I already read that one. Boom. Our GameStop exclusive will carry weight. Yeah, it may. Nothing wrong with that play. The Greninja box is 500 lowest listing as well, I believe. I think so. I think all the UPCs right now are incredibly expensive. So if I put in, I always got to make sure I do this. Greninja, is that a UPC? Yeah, here. Oh. It's a Greninja EX right now on TCG Player. They're on TCG Player right now for $425. So those Greninja boxes are $425 a piece right now. So, and as you can see, hidden right there, I do have a second one too, because I bought two. Let's see. Long-term hold will do incredible. How many strippers are still ripping those packs? I don't know, but give me. That would be a good business model. Horizon, you, Blitzkrieg, and myself, we need to sit down and we need to come up with a new adult entertainment facility that rips Pokemon cards. Strippers ripping Pokemon cards. I think we would make so much money. They got to pay for the pack up. There's like a swipe machine that they stripper walks around with like a 151 pack and just you can take the Canadian side. You can take the Canadian side of the border. We'll take the United States side of the border, and we'll make a chain of strip clubs that opens Pokemon cards. Let's see. Vegas needs help right now. There we go. That's how they do it. I was gonna say $100 a pack. Doesn't even matter if it's like Rebels Clash. Just send it. $100 a pack for it. Am I crazy in thinking Prismatic is just so undervalued right now? Prismatic is not undervalued. Prismatic has been buried in product. It's actually overvalued for the amount of print that we've gotten on that particular set. But like I've said earlier in the video, investors are never going to let that get down below $100. There's just not a chance. The ETBs are not going below 100. And if I were to go right now, what are the special? So if I go Prismatic Evolutions Special, because it's not a UPC, it's a special. Well, don't come up. Okay, let's go sealed. Okay. If you can hold Prismatic long terms, you will get a fortune. Yeah, Prismatic. You're just going to have to keep your paws off of opening it. So right now it's about $250 for Prismatic. It has come down. So it was going up. It was up to about $250, but it's dropped here in the last few days just because of the fact that everybody's hearing that this reprint was coming. So people knowing it definitely got out of it. And that's, or not got out of it, but I think that people that were not like hardcore investors dumped it to get out of it before this reprint happened. Personally, I don't know why you would. Why not just ride it out? Because I don't see this SPC. So I don't see this box here getting hit and dropping below MSRP. There's no way. This thing, I don't see this thing dropping sub to 175. I don't think they're going to print enough to actually do that. So there again, I think you're silly. You sit on it. You sit through this wave like investors do. We'll ride this wave out, and then after we get through this wave, the pricing is going to go up, up, up. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I see there's 19 people out there. Hit that like button if you're just joining in. We are about to call quits, though. It is after 10 o'clock. I did not realize it's already so late, so we're going to have to wrap it up. I always try and get out of here about quarter after, and I'm already past it because I wasn't paying attention on the discussion. But I'm going to answer one more question here from Jacob, or two more. I'll read Blitz's. This is probably just a comment, but Jacob says, I find Prismatic to be the best long-term play right now. I think it will be a monster in 5+ years. I think so. The drive for evolutions is so high that it's definitely the call right now based on the evolutions itself. The one downside was that it wasn't getting out to people's hands, but now the price kind of came down per pack, so more people are opening it, which is good. I mean, getting it out there is definitely going to be good for the overall market on that and the future of this particular set as well. So, yeah, I think the prismatic right now, if you are looking at a modern set that's still in rotation, I would definitely be working on that. If it's out of rotation, I'd be working at 151. I think 151 is going to outperform prismatic out of the Scarlet and Violet block. And that's just because of the fact that it's 151. You're going to have a lot of people my age, the old farts that are going back into their childhood, that are going to continue to drive this. And where we drive is definitely going to be the bigger sets, or the bigger performing sets. Blitzkrieg, once people try to sell, everyone will complete trying to offload prices and tank the market, flooding with people trying to sell. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And we're already seeing it. Once the announcement happened that they were going to reprint those, the market went down. And it's just how it always works. Pick the pack and the stripper opens. Oh my God, brilliant. See? All you need next to it is that you have to have a machine that you put $100 into to get a random pack of Pokemon that then would be taken to a stripper of your choice that would actually go ahead and rip that pack for you on your lap. That would be the brilliant play. That's the play right there. Last thing, tariffs tripped the index and stock markets again. Very interesting. Yes, it did. Is it going to be long term? I don't know. Trump playing with Greenland is going to be interesting to see how that all pulls off and what happens with that. And until we see where that kind of settles down, it's going to be, markets are going to be down again. Crypto dumped. Everything kind of went down again. Once again, I'm going to start buying more crypto again because pricing is down. A very nice price on Bitcoin and things like that. And in another 5-10 years, do I think it's going to recover? Absolutely. Or the Treat of Terrors. They have to... Exactly. See, now we're all on the same page. So you make the Canadian version, it sounds like, or you said Montreal. I'm guessing you're not from. Maybe you are from Canada. Maybe your autocorrect's just giving you away. But yeah, I see you meant Moltres. But all right, guys, thank you everybody for jumping in. Greatly appreciated. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you leave. Hit that subscribe if you're new here. Once again, greatly appreciated. We are going to continue to do video content, and we are going to continue to keep moving forward with the rip and trips on Friday and Sunday. Throwing in shorts as well. I'm trying everything, guys. I'm trying to push the channel, get things bigger, and get things rocking and rolling. But it's greatly appreciated for everybody that came in and joined tonight. As always, great chat, great discussions, got on a good topic, and kept riding through it. So thank you so much to everybody that's been here tonight. Once again, make sure you join the Discord too. We're trying to be more active. I'm trying to be active every day on there. I've got bad again because of work, but I've been going on there every day, at least saying hi and making sure that people know I'm alive on there, just to keep it going. And once again, thank you everybody for jumping. ELO just jumped in. Any luck on the Costco drop? I didn't even try. I don't know if anybody else is. Maybe some people in the chat and a comment afterwards could say, but I didn't even try for it. I've got a couple of them, so I'm good. I've got my collection, so I've got 2 Charizard UPCs, so I'm happy. I'm just putting them away for collections. Hooter packs. There we go. We're gonna make some Hooter packs. Patent pending from iFOMO, but. All right, guys. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining. Greatly appreciated for being here today. And as always, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, and notify. And we hope to see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.